In the bustling city of Lagos, two sisters, Bella and Dora, lived very different lives. Lagos, with its lively streets, colorful markets and shiny skyscrapers, was where dreams were made and broken. The sisters had grown up in this city, but their paths in life had taken wildly different directions. Bella was a self-made entrepreneur who had worked hard to build her own luxury fashion brand. She was a shining star in the world of fashion and everyone knew her name. Bella's business was flourishing, and she had made a name for herself as one of Nigeria's elite entrepreneurs. Her Instagram was filled with pictures of private jets, expensive vacations in faraway countries, and dinners at five-star restaurants. People admired her for her success, her beauty, and her glamorous life. Bella's world was a whirlwind of excitement and she loved it. Dora, on the other hand, was Bella's younger sister. Though she was also talented and creative, Dora struggled to find her place in the world. She loved fashion too, but her dreams always seemed just out of reach. While Bella's business grew larger each year, Dora's journey was filled with frustration and uncertainty. She had tried many things, painting, writing, and designing, but nothing seemed to stick. She would watch Bella's rise to fame and wonder, why isn't that me? Despite their differences, Bella and Dora had always been close. Growing up, they shared everything: their dreams, their fears, and their secret jokes. Bella was protective of Dora and always tried to encourage her. She would say things like, "Dora, you have so much talent, you just need to find your path." Dora would smile and nod, but inside she felt a deep sadness. She didn't feel as good as Bella, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't shake the feeling of being in her sister's shadow. One sunny afternoon, Bella invited Dora to lunch at a chic restaurant in Victoria Island. The air was warm and the sea breeze felt refreshing. Bella was excited as she had big news to share. "I've been working on something and I think it's finally time to tell you," Bella said, her eyes shining with excitement. Dora smiled, happy to see her sister so full of energy. "What's going on, Bella? You look like you've got the best news ever." "I'm opening a flagship boutique in Enkay. It's going to be my biggest project yet," Bella said, her voice full of joy. "I want you to be a part of it, Dora. You'll help me design the interior and we'll work together on the grand opening. What do you think?" Dora's heart sank. She had always wanted to work with Bella in some way, but she had never been invited into Bella's world of business. Yet in that moment she realized something. As happy as she was for Bella, a quiet jealousy began to grow inside her. Bella was always achieving things, always moving forward, and Dora felt stuck. She couldn't help but wonder if she would ever be able to find the same kind of success. "Of course, Bella," Dora said, forcing a smile. "I'd love to help." But deep down she felt a storm brewing inside her. The truth was she didn't feel good enough. She didn't feel like she could live up to Bella's achievements. No matter how many times Bella praised her or encouraged her, Dora couldn't escape the feeling that she was always second best. As the days went by, Dora's emotions became harder to ignore. She spent hours thinking about the boutique and Bella's growing success. The jealousy only deepened, and with it came a feeling of bitterness. Bella's life seemed so perfect, while Dora's seemed to be falling apart. But Bella, wrapped up in her excitement, didn't see the storm brewing in her sister's heart. On the outside, everything appeared fine. Dora smiled and played her part. She helped Bella with ideas for the boutique and went along with the plans. But each day she found herself sinking further into the feelings of inadequacy. "Why can't I be like Bella?" she thought over and over again. "Why am I always in her shadow?" The city of Lagos, with all its hustle and bustle, felt even more overwhelming to Dora now. She saw the billboards advertising Bella's brand everywhere. On the streets, on buses, and shopping malls. It seemed like everyone knew her sister and everyone admired her. Dora, meanwhile, was just another face in the crowd trying to figure out who she really was. That night, as Dora lay in bed, her mind raced. "If only I could have the same success as Bella. If only I could be as confident as she is. Maybe then I'd feel like I matter." The quiet jealousy turned into resentment. Dora wasn't sure when it happened, but she knew she couldn't keep living this way. The constant comparisons to Bella, the feeling of being overlooked. It was all too much. She began to hatch a plan, one that she thought would finally make her stand out, make her feel important. But for now, Dora kept her thoughts to herself, hiding them behind her kind smile. She continued to help Bella with her boutique plans, all the while feeling a storm of emotions building inside her. The love between the sisters was still there, but something dark was beginning to creep in. Dora wasn't sure what it was, but she knew one thing. It was only a matter of time before everything would change. The days following Bella's announcement about her new boutique were filled with excitement. Bella was constantly on the move, meeting with designers, hiring staff, and finalizing details for the grand opening. She was the kind of person who always made things happen, and everyone who knew her admired her for it. Bella would often call Dora to ask for her opinion or invite her to meetings, excited to share her plans. But Dora's excitement began to wane. On the outside, Dora continued to play her role. She helped with small tasks for the boutique, like sketching ideas for the store's design or offering suggestions for the grand opening event. But inside she was slowly falling apart. Each day felt like a reminder of how far behind she was in life compared to Bella. The more Bella shared her success and future plans, the more Dora felt invisible. Bella noticed that Dora wasn't as enthusiastic as she used to be. In their past, they used to laugh and chat about everything, whether it was their childhood memories or their dreams for the future. But now Dora seemed distant. She wasn't as engaged during conversations and often appeared distracted. Bella would try to lift Dora's spirits by reminding her of how talented she was, but it never seemed to help. Dora would smile, nod, and say, "I'm fine, Bella," but deep down she was sinking further into a sea of jealousy and self-doubt. One evening, as the sisters were sitting in their living room, Bella casually mentioned the upcoming photo shoot for the boutique's advertising campaign. She spoke with excitement about the models, the designs, and the luxurious setting. But Dora, feeling more and more invisible, couldn't hold her feelings in any longer. "I bet it'll be beautiful, just like everything you do, Bella," Dora said, her voice tinged with bitterness. "You always get everything perfect, don't you?" Bella looked up, startled. She hadn't expected that response. "What do you mean, Dora? Of course it's going to be perfect. It's a big project and I want it to succeed. I want you to be proud of it too." Dora clenched her fists. She wanted to scream, to tell Bella everything she was feeling. But instead she swallowed her emotions and forced a smile. "I am proud of you, Bella. Sometimes I feel like I'm always standing in your shadow." Bella's expression softened. "Dora, you're my sister. You're not in anyone's shadow. I want you to have everything you want in life. You just need to believe in yourself." Dora nodded but didn't respond. It wasn't that she didn't appreciate Bella's encouragement. It was that she couldn't shake the feeling of inadequacy that seemed to follow her everywhere she went. She felt like she was destined to always live in Bella's shadow, no matter how hard she tried. Days turned into weeks and Dora's resentment only grew. She began to feel as though no matter how much effort she put into her own projects, it was never enough. Bella's success was like a bright light, blinding everyone in its path, and Dora couldn't escape it. She had tried so many things, painting, writing, even trying to launch her own fashion line, but nothing ever seemed to take off. The more Bella's business grew, the more Dora retreated into herself. She stopped sharing her dreams with her sister, stopped seeking her approval. Instead, Dora spent long hours scrolling through social media, comparing her life to the flawless images of Bella's. The images of Bella in private jets, at lavish parties, and surrounded by glamorous friends made Dora feel even more disconnected. One evening, as Dora sat in her room scrolling through Instagram, she came across a post from Bella. It was a picture of Bella with a famous celebrity, both smiling as they stood in front of a designer store. The caption read, "Grateful for this incredible journey. Every step counts. #blessed #fashion goals." Dora stared at the photo, her fingers tightening around her phone. It was all so perfect, so effortless. Bella's life seemed like a fairy tale, and Dora felt like a character left out of the story. She tried to ignore the voice in her head, the one that whispered, "You'll never be good enough. Bella will always be better than you." A cold anger began to bubble up inside her. She couldn't shake the feeling that no matter how hard she tried, she would always be second best. And as much as she loved Bella, a part of her began to resent her sister's success. It wasn't fair. Why did Bella always seem to have everything she wanted? Why did Bella get all the praise, all the attention? Dora thought back to the time when Bella had invited her to help with the boutique. At first she had felt honored, but now it felt like a reminder of everything she had failed to achieve. She wasn't a businesswoman like Bella. She wasn't popular or successful. No one admired her the way they admired Bella. All Dora wanted was to feel special too, but instead she felt like an afterthought in her sister's world. The jealousy inside Dora began to grow. It wasn't just a quiet feeling anymore. It was a storm. She couldn't control the anger, the frustration, and the deep sadness that swirled in her chest. And in her heart, a dangerous thought began to form. If Bella can have it all, why can't I? Dora began to fantasize about a way to finally get the attention she felt she deserved. If she couldn't beat Bella at her own game, maybe she could take something from her. Maybe she could destroy Bella's perfect image and take away some of the spotlight. Dora's mind started racing with ideas. Rumors, lies, anything that could tear down the glamorous world Bella had built. The air in Lagos was warm and thick, as if holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Bella had been spending most of her days at the new boutique location in Enkay, overseeing every detail from the marble floors to the gold accents that would decorate the walls. The excitement was building as the grand opening drew closer. Bella could hardly contain her joy. This was her dream come true, and she was ready to share it with the world. On a quiet afternoon, Bella invited Dora to join her for lunch. She had big news to share, something that she hoped would lift Dora's spirits and remind her of how much she mattered. "I have something exciting to tell you," Bella said, her eyes sparkling as she sat across from Dora in a cafe. "I've been thinking a lot about the boutique, and I want you to be even more involved. How about we do a special campaign for the opening? I was thinking of featuring you in it." Dora's heart skipped a beat. Bella wanted to feature her? It felt like a moment of recognition, something she had always longed for. For a brief moment, a smile crossed Dora's face. But the smile quickly faded as the jealousy that had been growing inside her came rushing back. It was always about Bella. Always her projects, always her dreams coming true. Bella's light had always been so bright, and Dora's own shadow felt darker every day. "You want me to be part of the campaign?" Dora asked, her voice tight though she tried to sound casual. "What would I even do? I'm not like you, Bella. You've got it all figured out." Bella frowned, sensing something was off. "Dora, you're amazing in your own way. I think you'd bring something unique to the campaign. You don't have to be exactly like me. Just be yourself." But Dora's mind was already spiraling. Bella's kind words only reminded her of the deep insecurities she felt. She wanted to say no, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. Instead, she forced another smile. "Sure," Dora said quietly. "I'll help however I can." Days passed and Dora's internal struggle grew. On the outside, she pretended to be happy for Bella, but inside, a storm was brewing. Dora knew she was no longer the sister who could cheer Bella on without feeling resentment. She couldn't ignore the envy any longer. Every time she saw Bella's picture on social media, every time Bella talked about her success, Dora's anger and frustration deepened. Then one night, Dora sat alone in her room, scrolling through Bella's social media. Bella had just posted a picture of the progress at the boutique, showcasing the sparkling new interiors, the luxurious chandeliers, and the sleek mannequins dressed in her latest collection. The caption read, "Can't wait to share this new chapter with you all. Big things ahead." Dora stared at the post, her fingers gripping her phone tightly. Why does she always get everything? Dora whispered to herself. Why does it all just fall into place for her? In that moment, something inside Dora snapped. The jealousy, the bitterness, it all merged into a singular, destructive thought. I can't take this anymore. If I can't have the same success, I'll make sure Bella's world falls apart. The idea was dark, but it seemed like the only way to get the attention she so desperately craved. Dora wasn't sure where the idea came from, but it felt right in that moment. She began to hatch a plan that would tear down Bella's carefully built reputation and put her in a place where everyone would see her for who she really was. Dora's mind raced with possibilities. She thought about rumors, lies, anything that could create a storm around Bella's image. She had learned enough from the people around her, from gossip and the power of social media, to know that a well-timed rumor could do immense damage. It didn't take long for Dora to find the perfect angle. She knew enough about Bella's business dealings, the contracts and negotiations Bella had made with suppliers and partners. It wasn't that Bella had done anything wrong, but Dora knew just enough to twist the facts. She could create a story that suggested Bella had shady business practices, and she knew just where to plant it. One night, Dora anonymously sent out a series of fake emails to some of the most influential gossip blogs in the city. She included fabricated screenshots of supposed business dealings, altered to make it look like Bella had been involved in unethical practices. The story she wrote painted Bella as a woman who was willing to do anything, cheat, lie, and steal, to get ahead. It was a story designed to ruin her. The next morning, the rumors began to spread. The gossip blogs were filled with explosive headlines about Bella's alleged shady dealings. They quickly went viral, and before long the entire city was talking. Bella's social media was bombarded with angry comments, and people began to question her integrity. She had worked so hard for years to build her brand, but in a matter of hours, it seemed like everything was crumbling. Bella was devastated. She couldn't understand where it had come from. She had always been transparent in her business practices, always tried to do things the right way. But now her reputation was under attack and no one seemed to believe her. The private investigator hired by Bella's PR team quickly got to work, tracing the source of the rumors. It didn't take long for the investigator to uncover the truth. The post had been traced back to an anonymous email, and from there, it was easy to trace it to Dora's account. Bella's heart sank as she read the report. She couldn't believe it. How could her sister, the one person she had always trusted, be behind the attack? Dora had always been by her side, or so she thought. But now everything seemed different. That evening, Bella confronted Dora. She had tears in her eyes, not just because of the damage done to her business, but because of the betrayal she had never seen coming. "Dora, why?" Bella asked, her voice shaking with hurt. "Why would you do this to me?" Dora, caught in the act, tried to deny it at first, but the truth was clear. Her guilt was written all over her face. She broke down in tears, her emotions finally pouring out. "I was jealous, Bella," Dora sobbed. "I've always been jealous of you. I didn't know how to deal with it. You always had everything and I never felt good enough. I thought if I could bring you down, maybe I could finally feel better about myself." Bella stood there, silent, her heart heavy with a mixture of pain and understanding. "I never meant to make you feel that way. I wanted you to succeed too, Dora. You didn't have to do this." Dora's tears flowed freely now. "I'm so sorry, Bella. I was selfish. I didn't know how else to deal with my feelings. I thought if I could just get rid of your perfect life, maybe mine would make sense." Bella took a deep breath, trying to hold back her own tears. "It hurts, Dora. It really hurts. But I forgive you. You don't have to destroy me to feel better about yourself. You're better than that." The confrontation between Bella and Dora was a moment that neither of them would ever forget. Bella's heart was broken, but she was determined not to let her sister slip away completely. It was clear that Dora was struggling, but Bella wasn't sure how to help her. The betrayal was painful, but the deeper pain was understanding the hurt that had driven Dora to do something so destructive. After the confrontation, Bella's world felt upside down. The rumors about her business were still making headlines, but her focus shifted. She couldn't stop thinking about Dora. The betrayal stung, but the realization that her sister had been suffering all along made Bella's heart ache. She knew Dora had always looked up to her, but she had never known just how deeply that admiration had turned into resentment and jealousy. Dora, meanwhile, was consumed by guilt and shame. She could hardly look Bella in the eye after the truth came out. She had always loved her sister, but her own feelings of inadequacy had eaten away at her for so long. She had tried to drown out the negative thoughts, but nothing had worked. Now, seeing the pain she had caused, Dora couldn't understand why she had let it all go so far. How could she have been so cruel to the one person who had always been there for her? The days after the confrontation were filled with silence. Bella's PR team worked tirelessly to clear her name, and slowly but surely the truth came to light. The rumors about her shady business dealings were revealed to be false, and the public began to shift their focus back to Bella's achievements. But the damage done to their relationship was something that could not be repaired overnight. One afternoon, after a few days of avoiding each other, Bella invited Dora to sit down and talk. It was a quiet moment, just the two of them in the living room with the sun filtering through the windows. Dora nervously sat across from Bella, her hands fidgeting in her lap. She could feel the weight of her actions pressing down on her. "I know you're sorry, Dora," Bella began, her voice soft. "But we need to talk about what happened. I need to understand why you did this." Dora looked up, her eyes swollen from crying. "I don't even understand it myself," she whispered. "I didn't know how to deal with the way I felt. I've always been compared to you, always felt like I wasn't good enough. And when you started achieving more and more, it hurt. I thought if I could just knock you down, maybe I would feel better about myself. But instead, I made everything worse." Bella reached out, her hand resting gently on Dora's. I never wanted you to feel like you weren't enough. I always tried to encourage you. But I see now that I may have been too focused on my own success to notice that you were struggling. I'm sorry for that, Dora. The tears that Dora had been holding back started to flow again. I've been so angry and jealous. It's like I couldn't stop it. I didn't want to feel this way, but I couldn't help it. It's like I lost myself. Bella sat quietly, processing Dora's words. She had never fully understood the weight of her sister's struggles. As a child, they had always been close, but as they grew older and their paths in life diverged, Bella hadn't seen the pain Dora was carrying. She had been caught up in her own world, too busy building her empire to realize that her sister needed her in a way she had never expected. I think we both have some things to work through, Bella said after a long pause. I have to forgive you for what you did, but I also need to understand that you've been carrying this pain for a long time. We can't move forward until we face it. Dora nodded, wiping her tears. I never meant to hurt you, Bella. I was just lost. I thought if I could tear down your world, maybe I'd feel like I mattered. But now I see how wrong I was. Bella squeezed her sister's hand. We've both been lost in different ways. But we can find our way back to each other. We can fix this, Dora. I'm not giving up on you. But we have to work on it together. Dora took a deep breath, feeling a sense of relief. The guilt that had been weighing on her chest for so long began to lift just a little. She had hurt Bella deeply, but her sister's forgiveness, though hard to accept, gave her a glimmer of hope. Maybe there was a way for her to heal, for both of them to heal. Over the next few weeks, the sisters began the slow process of rebuilding their relationship. It wasn't easy. There were times when the old wounds flared up, and the weight of what had happened felt unbearable. Dora had a lot of work to do to regain Bella's trust. She knew she couldn't change the past, but she was determined to show her sister that she could become a better person. In the meantime, Bella's boutique in Enkay opened with great success. The grand opening was a lavish event, with people from all over the city coming to admire the boutique's stunning designs. Bella beamed with pride as she stood in front of her store, but her joy was tempered by the ongoing healing process with Dora. It was a bittersweet moment, knowing that while her business was thriving, her relationship with her sister was still fragile. As the weeks passed, Dora began to take more responsibility in her own life. She started working on her own dreams, focusing on developing her skills without comparing herself to Bella. She found comfort in small things, painting, writing, and rediscovering her passions. Slowly, she began to find a sense of self-worth that didn't depend on Bella's success. One afternoon, Bella asked Dora to join her at the boutique. Bella had decided to take a new direction in her business, and she wanted Dora to be part of it. I know you've been working on yourself, Dora, Bella said as they sat together in the boutique sipping iced tea. I want to bring you in on something special. How would you feel about launching your own line here? You've got the talent, and I think this could be a great start for you. Dora's eyes widened in surprise. You mean it? I do, Bella said, smiling. It's time for you to shine. Not because you're my sister, but because you've got something unique to offer. For the first time in a long time, Dora felt a spark of hope. She wasn't just Bella's sister anymore. She was her own person with her own potential. The journey toward healing wasn't easy, but it was worth every step. As the months passed, both Bella and Dora worked hard to rebuild not just their professional lives, but also their relationship. They had faced the deepest of betrayals, but through it they found a path back to one another. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Dora's new fashion line, designed with her own unique vision, was launched in Bella's boutique. It was a huge milestone for Dora. A fresh start, a chance to build something from the ground up. Bella supported her every step of the way, not out of obligation, but because she believed in her sister's talents. It was a humbling experience for both of them, learning to see each other not just as siblings, but as individuals with their own dreams and struggles. As Bella stood beside Dora at the launch of her first collection, she couldn't help but feel proud. Dora had poured her heart into the designs, and the response from customers was overwhelming. People loved her work, loved the authenticity that shone through each piece. It was clear that Dora had talent, and now she was finally embracing it. The boutique's grand opening had been a celebration of Bella's success, but this was a celebration of both their successes. It was a turning point, one where they could share the spotlight not because they were sisters but because they each had something special to offer the world. Despite the progress they had made, there were moments when the scars from the past resurfaced. Dora still struggled with her self-worth, and Bella sometimes wondered if her success would overshadow her sister's efforts again. But they had learned how to communicate, how to support each other, and how to forgive. With time, the emotional wounds began to heal, and the bond they shared grew stronger than it had ever been before. One evening, as they sat together on the balcony of Bella's apartment, overlooking the twinkling lights of Lagos, Bella turned to Dora with a thoughtful expression. "I was thinking about everything we've been through," Bella said quietly. "How much we've hurt each other, how much I've hurt you without even knowing it. I'm sorry for not seeing your pain sooner. You mean the world to me, Dora." Dora's eyes filled with tears as she reached for her sister's hand. "I was so angry, Bella. So lost. But I see now that we don't have to tear each other down. We can lift each other up." Bella smiled gently, squeezing Dora's hand. "We always should have. We always will." The evening was filled with a sense of peace that neither sister had felt in a long time. The weight of the past was still there, but it no longer defined them. They had learned to forgive, to understand, and to grow together. In the months that followed, both sisters found new paths of success. Paths that weren't about comparison but about collaboration. Bella's brand continued to grow, reaching new heights of success, while Dora's designs gained more recognition. The two women, once divided by jealousy and resentment, were now partners in every sense of the word. But beyond their professional achievements, they found a deeper sense of fulfillment in their relationship. They no longer needed to compete. They didn't need to prove anything to anyone. They had each other, and that was enough. One Sunday, as they sat in church together, Bella felt a deep sense of gratitude in her heart. She had come a long way, not just as a businesswoman but as a sister. And the person sitting next to her, the one who had once betrayed her, but was now walking beside her on the road to redemption, was her sister. Bella felt a quiet joy, knowing that their bond was stronger than ever. As the pastor spoke of forgiveness, love, and faith, Bella couldn't help but smile. This was the lesson, the real lesson. It wasn't about the money, the fame, or the success. It was about love, loyalty, and faith in each other and in God. Dora, sitting beside her, squeezed her hand. She had learned that true success wasn't found in tearing others down or in chasing after fame. It was found in personal growth, in forgiveness, and in building something meaningful with the people you love. And with Bella by her side, she knew that the best was yet to come. After the service, as they walked out of the church together, Bella paused to look at her sister. "I'm so proud of you, Dora. You're exactly where you're supposed to be." Dora smiled, her heart full. "And I'm proud of you, Bella. We've come a long way." The two sisters shared a quiet moment, standing side by side under the soft glow of the streetlights. They had learned the hard way that success wasn't just about achieving dreams. It was about growing together, facing struggles, and learning to love each other, flaws and all. As they continued their walk home, they knew that no matter what the future held, they had each other. And that was the greatest success of all.